everybody, and welcome back to You Can't Win. This is Tom here, and I'm joined by Don as usual, as well as returning third mic, AgileTablet. Today we are going to be talking about some content, some TV shows and such that we've been watching. Yeah, and just kind of chat a bit about that.
Yeah, so welcome back on AgileTablet.
Yeah, long time no talk, guys. Feel like it's been forever. Yeah, but thank you for having me on, and I hope people are not getting really sick of me.
Oh, no. Come on.
Oh, the people love you.
Yeah. So you wanted to come on again to tell us that Koreans have TV now?
I don't know if you have been able to stay away from the Squid Game discourse. I tried until we started watching it. I think the first person who I heard about it from said, "Watch it without knowing anything about it," and that was the first thing I had heard about it. So I tried to stay away from anything. I didn't want to know anything about it, and then we started watching it, and it's pretty good. Tom said when we were eating dinner today, he mentioned that it's like on track to be the most watched Netflix show of all time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I don't know if that's true or not, but pretty significant for a non-English piece of media to take that role.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I mean, it's fine, but it's not like mind-blowing or anything.
Sure.
I remember the thing that actually stood out to me after the first episode was that I didn't think about it again until we watched the second episode. Like, I was like, oh, that's unusual. Usually after a show, I'll kind of be digesting it for the next day. And no, it was just like totally out of my mind. It's similar to a lot of other Korean media where it's like it looks great, like it looks expensive, like it looks like it's well funded, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the performances are a little bit like slapsticky sometimes, which is a funny combination with like, you know, like serious high stakes violence and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's like I said, it's you know, I don't know how profound any of the messaging is about it, but or from it, I should say. But it's enjoyable. And Tom, I was curious, do you have like a 1 to 10 rating so far? We're like 2/3 of the way through the show at this point, just so you know.
Yeah.
I think if you take it for what it is pretty much like a 9 or a 10. It's just a very watchable, fun show. I think if you're hoping for anything other than kind of just that it's just not there. So it's like I had, you were talking about how we started watching it and to go in without knowing anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't heard of it or anything. I think you just sort of mentioned it, or I saw it on the Netflix screen. I was like, what is this, Squid Game? And then you said, oh yeah, that's good. And we just started watching it. So I didn't even know it was like a big kind of meme type thing until later. I kind of like recognized certain things, like, oh, I've seen people post this before. And
yeah, you recognized when they showed the card. Yeah. With the shapes on it. You were like, oh yeah, I've been seeing that around.
Yeah. So, and then I thought it was like, okay, this is like popular the same way like that chess show was popular and stuff, like, you know, things that people all watch for like a week or two and it's like the big thing and then it goes away. This feels a little different now based on, I don't know, it seems like a ton of people from all over the world are watching it and enjoying it, so that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily the quality of it. It's just that I think it's very accessible. Like, it's very, like, you know, it's almost based around child's games, and it has almost like a reality competition show aspect to it. Like it is able to do like a drama with like this sci-fi dystopian stuff mixed with like reality TV contest drama, and it works pretty well. And the characters are all fairly one-dimensional, but
Yeah.
still sort of endearing.
Yeah,
And,
that's the thing.
yeah.
Like the most recent episode that we watched really got my heartstrings. But
It's
I
the
could,
marbles one for people who
yeah.
know.
But I could also see at the same time how cynically like constructed it was. Um, but it
Yeah.
works on me, even if I can see it, it still works on me.
Yeah.
But I can just be, I'm just like, oh, okay, this is what they're doing now, and it's nothing new, it's just
Sure.
like very kind of like cheap, easy ways to make characters very sympathetic that just like works very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's not like fantastic character development or anything, but it's just like, oh, can you believe the situations that have made people behave this way to one another and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I've only experienced it through like basically third tier of that experience of like
oh yeah,
all the memes of like people saying that it's like anti-capitalist or something like that kind of
oh
stuff,
god,
you know.
anything with god, anything that points out that money can be bad is somehow anti-capitalist now.
I know.
So
But
ridiculous.
I think I feel like a lot of that is just like perfunctory kind of stuff. Like you just say it. It doesn't really matter if it's true really too much or whatever. You just kind of say it. People just say it and move on. And it's kind of like I think
that's
it's
true.
yeah. I don't think that like there's lots of people. I'm sure there's going to be essays or there probably already are a bunch of essays coming out about like why it's about capitalism. But I think that happens with everything now with like Parasite and everything. So
Yeah,
and
I don't know. That's just a especially
yeah.
silly thing to say about Korean media. Like
Well,
if there's
yeah.
anti-capitalist stuff coming from somewhere, it's probably not Korea.
Well, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's also funny. I find that this is sort of a broader point, but like, I feel like a lot of like, are these conversations that happen now online about like all this different media and stuff. A lot of the journalists I follow have the same take on something, but they all post it even though they know that the other ones are posting. You know what I mean? Like there's probably in response to different like memes about this show and stuff, just like hundreds of posts that are basically the same that like people all posted, but like they know that the other people posted because they're the same timeline, right? Like it's all the same journalists and stuff, so they know that the other people did it,
And that's like the only people they follow too.
Yeah,
It's not like it's
exactly.
getting lost in the sauce or something.
Sure. So I think that's what it is. I think there is this like instinct, and you used to see that all the time on like liberal and conservative Twitter, obviously, right, where everyone just kind of each little micro celebrity has to stand up and say the same thing, kind of thing about each thing. So I feel like the left is like that now too, and that is I don't know. That's like a dark age thing. That's like you got to step away from the computer at that point, kind of thing, or something. Because like I don't know, you just see people that you respect just making the same joke, and you're like, okay, well, I don't know, whatever. but yeah. So I don't know the Squid Game stuff. That's all I only see the kind of like the back and forth about that kind of stuff. Like all
I haven't seen
yeah.
any of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's just because of who we follow or something like that, but
Yeah.
like I haven't even tried really to stay away from it. It's just not on my feed.
Sure.
So I don't know.
Yeah. And the other thing I've seen, I guess, is that like, I guess Netflix has like heavily been promoting it through like word of mouth kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like promoting influencers to talk about it and stuff. And
yeah, not surprising.
Not us, but yeah. But, so yeah. So was there anything else that you wanted to bring up about the show, or?
I wanted to mention that one of the characters is a North Korean character, so that might be of interest to all the commie scum that listen to this.
Oh, really?
But she's a defector though.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a defector, but not like
ideologically.
Yeah, like she's not someone who's like political or like ideological in that sense. She's just like a pickpocket, I guess, is her deal.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil things too much, so I'm trying to stay away from that. But
sure,
it was sort of interesting just to see the way that was portrayed, and just to kind of get a glimpse into those dynamics, I guess, a little bit. like obviously it's not like a real, you're not getting a sense of like the reality or whatever, but it's just interesting to see in their media, like, okay, this is a North Korean character. How do they show people treating them? What are the kind of like stereotypes and all that kind of stuff?
That was interesting to me because most of what I know about that is like family stuff, like how families were torn apart by where borders ended up being, and just having like moved around during conflicts, and then all of a sudden, the father can't see his son for decades or something like that. So that's most like I know that in South Korea there is a very strong desire to unite, obviously. But it was interesting in the show because, and I hope this is not a spoiler, but the North Korean character is trying to get her family members together, and apparently, like she talks to someone who is like I guess like a kind of like a coyote, like in the American Southwest, like someone who is there to maybe get your family across the border for a very high price and probably just scam you and leave you high and dry.
Yeah.
So that was interesting because I have not seen that side of things before. I haven't seen like that presented. So I guess that, I'm assuming that means that's like a known phenomenon, right? That
Sure.
like, if they put it in like a popular show like that, that does happen, which is not shocking. But that was the first time I had seen that, so that was interesting. There's also a Pakistani character, which is very unusual. I don't know if I've ever seen any Korean media with South Asians in it, or really like anyone other than Koreans. I'm sure that exists, but yeah, so that's interesting too. Like he speaks Korean, not totally fluently, but he speaks Korean well.
Apparently, the actor is fluent in Korean completely, but the character is written to be like, so he speaks very simple and somewhat like formal, like textbook kind of Korean. Like. So
and he doesn't always know every word that they're saying, and he has to ask like, "Oh, what's that?"
Right. And then he slips into Urdu in certain scenes and stuff. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
that's cool. I don't know. Like, does Korea have like foreign populations kind of thing? Like, I mean, like, like does it have like
not very
enclaves? Not, I wouldn't think so.
Not very much. Obviously, as they have gotten more prosperous economically, that has the desire of people, specifically like from Asia. That's what I usually see. Other Asian people trying to emigrate and work in South Korea, but they usually don't seem to be doing that well. I mean, this is like in its infancy, that phenomenon. Sure. So, I know that that generally attitudes are not great from Koreans toward foreigners. But I don't know if that's like, I don't know how much of that is actually like open hostility rather than just like, they're not accustomed to having people emigrate to the country. And they have been ethnically homogeneous for a long time, I guess, except for like some Chinese and very few Japanese. So yeah, but there's like Uzbeks. I know there's a lot of Uzbeks there. And of course that goes in the other direction too. There was a big chunk of Koreans who got tossed into Uzbekistan a few decades ago. So there's like a trade going on there.
I didn't know that at all.
I know there's a Turkish minority that lives in Korea too.
Oh yeah? I didn't know that.
Yeah, South Korea and Turkey have this like cute little fraternal thing. They like really love each other, and they helped each other out during World War II, and it's been like a thing ever since.
Oh.
Yeah, when I was I was taking Turkish classes, there was a number of Koreans in there.
Really?
And their reasoning was just they want to learn Turkish because they like Turks or Turkey and stuff.
That's cool. Yeah, I know. I heard Japan is like that too. Someone was showing me that the other day. But
yeah. There's also like the apocryphal hypothesis that they're ethnically and probably like linguistically related. Like maybe that's where Japanese came from and stuff like
The
that.
Great Turin Theory. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that style of thing. Yeah, exactly. But still, it's kind of charming in that in its way, you know.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thumbs up on Squid Game. I'd
so
say.
far, maybe we'll hate it once we finish it.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe.
Probably not.
There's funny stuff in there, like one of the bad guy characters will speak English occasionally to his boss, who's like always off screen, and it's just funny. I don't know the way that they like have him speak like supervillain business guy, American English. It's just kind of off sounding. It reminds me of like Metal Gear Solid or some video game dialogue. It's just a little bit like you get what they're going for, and it accomplishes that, but it's like not quite right. I always like that stuff. I mean, sure. I'm sure Koreans and everybody else is used to Americans doing that with our movies and stuff. So it's just funny to see it in the flip side.
For sure.
It's also like that's the English that Koreans learn now. That's, American English. So the accent, I think, has changed a little bit over a few years. Like the English that Koreans learn now is not the same thing that like I grew up with my friend's parents or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It sounds different.
Okay. So do you want to move on to one of my movies, or are you guys?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So I thought I'd do this one first because I think Ed Buck might have talked about it when he was on, and a little bit, but I finally saw it. Was that The Green Knight? That movie?
Oh right. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And so have either of you seen this or no?
No.
I haven't.
No. So it's like Arthurian legend kind of thing.
Yeah, I've read Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, so I kind of wanted to see it, but yeah, I don't know.
It was okay. I liked it. Like it was like good. I ended up giving it like 3 stars, I think, or something like that kind of thing. I was just like, it's fine. It's good. I am baffled that it was considered like, one of the best movies of the year and all that kind of stuff. Really, people seem to be going really overboard about how much it's blowing their minds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, maybe I didn't get it or something. I don't think so. But like, it just, it was fine for me. But like, I don't know. It was almost like a defanged, what's that guy's name that did Antichrist and all that kind of thing or something like that kind of.
Oh, Von Trier.
It's like how like Von Trier kind of has like that fairy tale element to it or something, and then that certain look of everything of like the forest and all that kind of stuff, and things like and like dark things everywhere. But the thing is that this was made for like someone told me it was made for only $15 million, which is not a lot for a movie like this with all that kind of CGI kind of stuff and all that in it and stuff. So, but the problem is that like because of that, it also looked to me terrible.
Oh,
it was all like dark, and it has the orange and teal thing that all movies do now.
Oh man,
like,
what a bummer!
Yeah, you were talking about that the other day, Tabs. The sepia
I was
filters.
Yeah,
and there's like a CGI fox in it that is kind of like a secondary character kind of thing, and like it looks so bad because everything around it had to look bad to make it so that the fox looked okay. So it looked okay kind of thing. But if you just focus on the fox, you're like, this just looks like junk to me. I don't know.
Was it endearingly so? Like oh, that could look like stop motion or something like that?
It was okay. I enjoyed it. I just that I don't know. Whenever people go overboard and saying that it's like the best thing they've ever seen and all that kind of stuff is like, I start to go like, okay, I feel alienated from humanity, but like, I don't know, but like, it was okay. I mean, it's interesting. Like, it's a very simple tale kind of thing, that the way it's structured and everything, and like it just kind of goes around. And then, there's sort of elements at the end that I guess make it all like, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's kind of like, like Christopher Nolan-esque or something kind of thing.
Really?
It's like, well, there's like, it bends the timeline and different things like that in different ways, and that was fine. But I can, again, if I was in my 20s and I saw this, like early 20s or something, I'd probably be like, dude, or something like that kind of thing. Or something. But like, I don't know. To me, it was like, it was fine. It was just yeah, I don't know. It's also, I think it's one of those A24 movies where they do really,
Oh,
really
was it?
overhype them. Yeah,
That's why people were going crazy, because
yeah.
signed some deal with them at some point or something where they have to do this with every movie they put out.
Yeah.
I was gonna kind of, I don't know. I wanted to ask, why do people flip out over media so consistently, so frequently, when I feel like the more media you consume, and especially the more jaded toward media you get, the less likely that it is to actually have any effect on you at all. Like, people are able to watch, very upsetting or very violent things while just like sitting there on their phone, like halfway paying attention and being like, oh yeah, I watched that.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that, like, I don't know, it seems like those are at odds with one another. Like the fact that you're just like sitting there like slavering over it and then raving about it online. How affected could you possibly have been if you're just sitting there like consuming tons of
Sure.
media?
I get what
don't
you
know.
mean. Yeah. I get what you mean. You're like, have you ever seen Wall-E?
I
People
did,
always say
yeah.
that
I saw Wall-E.
the big Wall-E people just sitting there
No.
watching.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that there were like people who were like really,
No.
really into
No,
Wall-E, like as a social
No.
commentary. I was like, no, I did not know that.
No, I know what you mean though. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where I used to probably be like that when I was younger. I find that when I look at reviews for movies that I saw when I was younger, that to me are just like, they were like the best movies of all time kind of thing, or something like that. Like people that say that Boogie Nights was not that great or something like that and stuff. And I'm like, Boogie Nights, that's like one of the best movies. You know what I mean? Like I think that it's a certain thing where you're like, if you're younger and it's like your first films and all this kind of stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, like,
that's true.
Know.
There is that too.
Yeah.
But aren't a lot of the critics like not of that age group anymore anyway?
Well, I don't mean like critics as much as like people that I know.
Yeah.
I
realize I misspoke.
Sure.
Media. I don't know what to call the precarious media
Goblins.
Employees.
Yeah.
How about that?
Sure. Yeah, but I mean, I still like. I think it's a good movie to watch. Like, I think it's fine, but like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in it that I was like, okay, well, whatever, kind of thing. I don't know. Yeah.
Did you ever read Sir Gawain and the Green Knight? Are you familiar?
No.
Like,
no.
Okay.
That's about it.
That's what I was curious about. I was like, how is this going to compare to what I have in my mind already? Is it going to cheapen it or honor it or what? Just
well,
curious.
I got one little tidbit for you. They call it the Green Knight. I think a different color would have been more appropriate for the title, just to kind of
brother
ease you into it. It's pretty shocking.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. So, do you want to do another one of yours or?
Sure. Actually, I want to talk about the color filter thingy that we touched on. That seems to be like ubiquitous now, and I think that a lot of that is done so that people can. It's like it's often like 1-2 color sort of, like in a very like extreme kind of thing, and it makes it feel cinematography-y. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
sure.
Like Ed Buck was talking about this when we had him on about cinematography and how people talk about that and they don't really know what they're saying, I guess. But
sure.
Yeah, that seems like it's. I'm always looking for this now, like stuff that will be cut into GIFs and made viral and screenshots and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how like conscious that kind of stuff is, but it sure seems that way. It really seems like they are making a lot of decisions because they know it will look better on Instagram, or it'll look better in like a TikTok or something.
Yeah, I think that I don't know. I remember it from like Transformers. That was the first time that I really noticed this kind of stuff. Like that where that when the Transformers movie came out, it was exactly like that kind of stuff. Like it was just all orange and green. It looked very jarring because most stuff before that didn't look like that kind of thing. There was like color grading, like where it was you did have like dark and green kind of stuff in movies like in Blue. Saving Private Ryan had that kind of thing, and you had, so like that was like around, like films did that, but it wasn't ever like just like cartoony kind of thing until around, I don't know, like 2005 or so, maybe a bit before that, and then it just it seems like everything went like overboard on that, and then I think maybe they pulled it back a bit, maybe, and then so maybe it looked a little bit out of time or out of place or something like that. Like, I'm not sure, but yeah.
Maybe that's one of the only reasons that people really flipped out over Midsummer, because it didn't look like that.
Yeah, that's true.
I think so.
I just realized that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's another one where it's like, it seemed okay, but I don't know. People...
yeah, it was fine.
It was okay,
yeah.
I don't know.
Not something I'd watch again. It's not like, I don't know. Didn't get a lot out of it. I think a lot of the people kind of projecting their own sort of, oh, this is some big statement movie kind of a thing. I think that's coming from the viewers, not. Yeah. I don't think it's really in the movie, but it looked cool. It had a like cool look to it and stuff.
Someone sent me my review that I completely forgot, like Eternal Sunshine kind of thing, just my old stuff. But like it said, this movie looks like if you tried to get Rod Dreher to explain what feminism was. Anyways, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that goes back to the same-ish take machine that you were talking about earlier.
Sure.
It's like, everybody has to be like, this is feminist, this is feminist, this is woke, this is the other thing. Yeah, it's just kind of obligatory at this point.
Sure.
Well, so another show that we've been watching, more tabs than I watched like 2 episodes, I think, and then I kind of tapped out on it. But Midnight Mass. Yeah,
I did watch all of that one. The reason I even watched it at all, the guy who made it has made a couple of other shows that I think people, it just, those other shows that everybody watches, I'm not gonna, they're very like nondescript names, like Haunting of a Mansion or something like that. I'm sorry that I don't remember the names. I didn't watch them. This is the first one of his that I've watched. But other people have reason to be familiar with his work, is the point. Mike Flanagan is the name.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the reason I watched it is because my dad messaged me and was like, have you heard of this? Would you be interested in it? Because it's like religious. And I think this is his like overture of being like, I don't know. He generally is not, he's pretty agnostic and secular, and so he usually kind of turns off a little bit if we talk about religion, religious stuff. So I think this was his, like, he was wondering if we would enjoy it, or if it would just be like, would you find it disrespectful or something like that. So I had very low expectations for it in that regard, because usually religious stuff in horror is just pretext for horror. It has nothing to do with the content of the religion, really,
Sure.
And it's just like, yeah, Exorcist or something like that. So I didn't have high expectations there. I think it actually treated religion a little bit better than I expected. Uh, the writing was, in general, for the show, was very stilted and weird. Like,
Hmm.
very strange dialogue that did not feel natural at all, and was not helped by most of the performances in it. Not a lot of great acting in that.
Hmm.
So it was just very strange and kind of stilted. But the religious stuff was actually some of the less weird and wooden stuff. It was actually it could be interesting. It seemed decently researched, like not like just someone like cherry picking a line from the Bible and being like, look at how fucked up that sounds or something.
Sure. Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting. I was, pleased to see that. Um, but yeah, I was laughing about talking about the performances. It kind of starts with the focus on one main character and then it slowly shifts to have a different main character, especially by the end, but like by the second half basically. But the first main guy, the the very first scene with him is him in a car accident and he crashed into someone drunk and killed them. And
Hmm.
he's going and he goes, is she, is she is she gonna be okay? Like in that voice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And Tom immediately was like, "Oh no, he's gonna talk in that like fake stuttery way this whole time, isn't he?" And I was like, "How did you call it?" He like that was exactly his delivery was exactly that for like the thing where you're not good enough at acting to actually make your speech seem natural. So you like pre-program what you imagine natural pauses would sound like into the delivery of your of your
Yeah. Yeah.
lines.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it just sounds very premeditated.
Sure.
So that in combination with trying to do a gritty kind of dark
Batman voice.
voice.
Batman
Well,
voice.
no, he
Yeah.
was not. He was definitely not that bad. But it was just funny. Like I like, why would you make that decision as an actor? I
It
don't
could
know.
be
It was
the
just so
directing. It
silly.
could be over directing. It could be like
That's true. That's true. I was not familiar enough with the performers to know to be able to make that distinction. That is very true. The only guy who I had seen before was the second main character, who's like the priest character. And he was actually very good. He did. I think his lines and his performance in someone else's hands would have been really, 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 really hammy. So yeah, he was good. Uh, but I just wanted to mention, Tom, someone replied to one of your tweets about Midnight Mass saying that um, all the exposition was delivered via like long ruminations, like between characters, where like one character would just like talk about themselves for a really long time, uh, and deliver exposition that way,
Hmm.
um, which in some of the situations seemed more natural, like two people on a couch talking. That doesn't seem that crazy. But one of them that made me laugh was pretty funny, where in order to explain backstory and move the story along, the priest character does that with God in a confession booth, and
Oh
he
yeah. Yeah.
tells his own backstory to God.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't know. I mean, whole thing is, God knows. Like that's
Sure. Yeah.
because it's one thing to 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 pray or to recount your sins for your own sake, like to catalog something or whatever. But this was just him telling the story of like, well, here's what happened and why I got the where I am right now.
Hey, big guy,
Yeah,
let me
yeah.
fill you in on the details here.
Sure. Yeah.
Get you up to speed.
It was, I just like couldn't believe what I was watching. I was laughing while I was watching it.
They do like the record scratch. That's amazing, you know?
Yeah. You might be wondering.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But I think the big thing with that one is that it, like a lot of other things that have been adapted for Netflix, it is too slow and not in an atmospheric, purposeful way. It seems like it could have been turned into a 2.5 hour movie, or rather, that's what it was, and then stretched out for 7 episodes, so that there's quite a bit of downtime sometimes.
Yeah, that's why I bailed after the second episode. I was just like, there was 15 minutes of the plot moving forward and 45 minutes of people wandering around stuttering to each other. So I got out of that one.
Yeah, there was a bit of fluff, wasn't there?
Yeah, just a little bit. I guess the thing is like the writer and the director. That's one guy, obviously. Like that's his thing. You know, it's like his project. And then his wife plays one of the characters. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I learned that, I just kind of got this feeling like, oh, this kind of explains a lot of this weirdness. Like it's a little bit like insular and like just a very strange vibe. Like it almost felt like David Lynch stuff, you know, when he like kind of does weird parodies of like suburban life or whatever, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but like not intentionally,
right?
Like that.
It just had that strange, uncanny, like this isn't right kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Without that seeming like that's what he was going for.
Right, and it was like a horror thing, so that like that. I'm not super interested in that, so like that wasn't an appeal for me. But
yeah, it was for me. I like horror a lot, so and I actually have been wanting to watch a little bit more of that recently. I guess the season is kind of rubbing off on me, despite my Grinchy nature.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of have been craving watching some like 80s horror flicks or something like that.
I haven't seen almost any of them. I don't know. I've never been like a horror person, really. Although, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I should probably watch them just because, you know, in any sort of thing, the top things of it are going to be really good, no matter. You know what I mean? Like, you know, just kind of a thing. So
I haven't seen a lot of the classics. I don't know. I got into like more like B movie type stuff.
Sure.
And Yeah, I've seen a lot of that kind of stuff. That was just a thing that, I don't know if that's still a thing that young people are into, but like when I was in my like 20s and stuff, that was like, everybody was just watching like horror B movies.
Yeah.
If you're into film at all, that was like a big thing that people were into. So, and sure. I was part of that too.
I realized I have seen a lot of them through Mystery Science Theater. So
there you go.
I have seen a lot of them, but like, I don't know. I don't know if that counts as a full watch. They actually, I think they took it off of Letterbox. Like they, for some reason, like the Mystery Science Theater, you can't like, because it's a TV show, I guess maybe. So it's like you can't rate the Mystery Science Theater of a movie.
You can only rate the movie itself.
Yeah. So
okay.
So I haven't really been, anyways. But like, but yeah, anyways, but you can rate TV shows for Netflix and stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna go protest. But yeah. So is that all for Midnight Mass? Or...
Yeah, I give it a thumbs down, but I didn't really watch very much of it.
You watched like 1.25 episodes.
Yeah, but if it's so bad that that's how much I get through it, I think I can give it a negative rating on that basis, you know.
I would have to evaluate it on a person by person basis. I don't think it's something that everybody would be interested in, but but I enjoyed it. I thought it was on the, if there's a fulcrum and we're balancing on watch or do not watch, I'm just on the do watch side. So
Sure.
yeah.
All right.
Cool. So I thought one that I actually really liked a lot. And then I realize that I get sucked into movies sometimes too, where I just like any movie I watch, I get sucked into usually. But like this one, I got like fully like.
Mm-hmm.
It was The Card Counter. It was called. Have you guys heard of this one at all? It's with Oscar Isaac.
I think I've seen that on a Plex server, but I haven't actually watched it, or I don't know anything about it.
Is it new?
Yeah, it's a new release.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know anything about it.
So it's by Paul Schrader.
Oh, it's the Schrader one. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I have seen people talking about that, but I didn't know what it was. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so I really liked it, and I don't know any of again, I haven't really heard anything about this one. Like, I mean, as opposed to the other one, like I don't know much about what people are saying, but like, it's about like basically guy with like OCD kind of thing, but like, he teaches himself how to master blackjack in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like it sort of sets itself up as sort of like, it's sort of like a cards movie kind of thing. You think so? It's called The Card Counters. It's sort of like, there are cards aspects to the movie kind of thing where he like competes in tournaments and stuff like that, but it doesn't ever like really show you much of that kind of thing. It just kind of just shows him like living his lifestyle of like grinding out games at small amounts and just doing that, and you're not really even sure why kind of thing. Like he's just like doing this, and then and the thing where the twist kind of thing in it, which you learn, I mean, it's early on that you learn this in the movie kind of thing, is that like he was a prison guard in Iraq, is sort of like the thing. So, and then he went to prison for like 10 years or something like that kind of thing, related to it, or 8 years or something like that. And so there's like two through lines through the movie of them, like, one is the card game kind of stuff, and the other is like him and his haunted past and all this kind of stuff. So I thought it was great just because it was so simple, and like the movie's very, very straightforward, very, very simple.
That's nice.
It's silly in some ways. Like I can understand why a person would think it's corny and stupid. Like just like if they were told what was in it, or like if they didn't get sucked in a certain way, because you kind of have to like really, really want to care what's happening kind of thing, or else you just it look kind of dumb. But like yeah, and Willem Dafoe was in it as well, and he's good in it. He's only in it for a little bit here and there, but like yeah, so I don't know, I liked it. I liked it because it was very strange, because it was like there's like blackjack and poker in it and stuff, and that feels like a very mid 2000s kind of thing, like it's very like it's got that kind of feel to it of all that, all those poker tournaments and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't like and that's like a lot of like just his day-to-day life kind of thing, but it takes it in sort of like a psychotic weird direction, and so I liked it. Yeah, so
cool.
Yeah,
that sounds good. I want to watch that.
I liked it in a way because it really I don't know, it brings back a lot of like memories of like that time in like the Iraq War and all that kind of stuff, that like when he was the guy in it was in the army and stuff, and like just like the total psychotic everything about the war was just psychotic kind of thing and stuff, and so I don't know, it really I don't know, it brought up a lot of memories from as someone that like was sort of like OCD following the war back then, I guess, kind of thing. So yeah. Anyways.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That sounds like maybe we'll give that a shot, huh?
Yeah, let's do it.
So I try to give like movies two ratings now. I give it like the out of 5, but then I also I give it like the heart on Letterboxd if I feel like it was a good use of my time on Earth. And so I gave that one a good use of my time on Earth one. Green Knight I liked, but I did not give that. So
okay. Gotcha.
Anyways. Mm-hmm.
Are there any that you've done the inverse with?
So, where I thought it was a good use of my time on Earth, but didn't like it.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Not yet. No.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's not like too rigorous, but like, yeah, I don't know. Another one I saw just on this weekend was the James Bond one that came out.
Oh yeah. Was that bad?
It was okay. It was fine. I mean, I really like James Bond in general. Like,
oh, okay.
If you're not like a fan of those movies, then you'll hate it. But like, I thought it was okay just because, I've seen the other ones and I liked them and stuff. So
I didn't even know there was a new one out. Did
yeah.
they change anything up? Is there a new actor or something?
I was going to say, this is the last Craig one, right?
Yeah, this is the last one with Daniel Craig.
Okay.
And they haven't picked the new one yet. It's 99% of the movie is stuff that just has to be in every Bond movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of the, him getting a nice watch, him getting getting like all the different cars and chase sequences and all that kind of stuff. I thought it was decently done. Like it just seemed like a fine movie, but like, I just didn't really care as much, kind of thing. Like it just wasn't. I don't know.
Didn't grab you.
Well, I guess because there's so much in it now that is just by the book kind of thing, has to be there. There's not much exciting on top of that kind of thing. Like there's interesting parts and stuff, but like a lot of the little like, I don't know, silly things in it that have to be in it are just kind of like, I don't know. It made me feel like I was just wading through different scenes until the next one kind of thing for parts of it. But
was there any
good?
Was there any incisive anti-capitalist critique?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. They do have stuff like that in it. Like always, like, like, and a lot of it is all like, there's like a character in it is gay. There's a character that's like, there's like feminist kind of stuff going back and forth. Like there's like, he has like part of the plot is that like, he's been retired for 5 years or something like that. So, there's been a new 007 brought in, who's like a black woman, and it's kind of like he's like people say 007 to her, and he thinks it's saying it to them and stuff like that. Like just cheesy stuff like that. But like, it's funny because a lot of people hate it because they're like, oh, it's like buffoonish masculinity and all this kind of stuff, and like very sexist and stuff. But it's funny because the actual movie they take a lot of pains to make him look like an idiot whenever he's sort of sexist or something like that kind of thing. Like they really, it's more like in the file of like buffoonish husband kind of stuff, like it's like that kind of thing of like, it's sexist in the way like King of Queens might be sexist or something like that. It's not like sexist in the way of like just
like where it's like tacit exception.
Yeah.
What word am I looking for?
Acceptance. There
we go. Exception. Yeah. Sorry about that. But yeah.
Yeah. So I think a lot of it is like that. It's like, everything that like is lampooned kind of thing. Every like, and I know that like the basic part of it, like the like the fundamental part of it is, British super agent fights terrorism or something like that kind of stuff. Like, but like. I don't know. They're very careful, I think, to balance everything in a way that like no audience is going to watch it and be like, he's just a fascist guy or something like that kind of thing. So, but yeah, so I don't know. I like it. I mean, I like it in like, in a certain way. I like it like just like it's fine. Like I'm glad that I saw it because I would watch like 10 more of these kind of thing in the same way. But like, I feel like anyone that is not like a big fan of the Daniel Craig Bonds would hate it kind of thing. So I don't know.
I still have never seen a single Daniel Craig Bond.
Yeah, me neither. I haven't seen any James Bond since GoldenEye.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is a mild spoiler, but like, so in the movie they've got. I mean, how can you possibly spoil a movie like this? Honestly, but like, there's like one of the things in it is that there's like a tailored virus that is actually like. it's a virus that's like nanobots or something like that. It doesn't make any sense, but like it's a virus that's nanobots that they can like tailor to people's DNA, and like that's the whole premise of the movie, is like, is it tailored to this person's DNA or not, and all that kind of stuff. And like very, very bizarre things happen with that. But like there's a certain sequence in the movie where they don't say it really out loud, but they kind of go back and forth, and it shows like a potential attack kind of thing, and it just shows European cities going red and then small little dots outside of Europe kind of thing, like, and like I guess North American stuff. And then later the scientist says we could wipe out an entire race. And it's like a virus that only attacks white people, I guess.
What?
Is like the thing.
Oh, I thought that was going to be like Jewish populations.
No. Yeah, like I think it was supposed to be just all of Europe.
Okay.
And maybe it didn't. I don't know if it shows North America, but like I think it was just white people.
That's really funny.
And
the virus is perfectly programmed to target the very scientific and biologically determined category of white.
Yeah. So I think that was in the movie, but they don't really say that. But I don't know. I thought that was a funny like inclusion into the plot of like, because if they had said that like out loud or like made that more of the plot, I think that probably would have made it get a lot of 5-star reviews or something.
And it turns out like the new 007, the black lady, is like the double agent. She's actually the villain. And
yeah.
Turn it into like a whole white genocide movie.
Yeah. So
I got a lot of ideas. Whoever writes and makes these things, hit me up.
Yeah. I don't know.
Have you seen anything else? It seems like you've been on a kick. You've been seeing a lot of stuff.
You saw Venom recently, right?
Yeah, so the theater near me is like a 3-screen theater, and it has at least one kids movie every time I'm there. Usually 2. Like just straightforward kids movie. I mean, like, like cartoon, whatever, like aim like G rating and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Right? So the other one is like gonna be the big comic book one aimed at people in their 20s kind of thing, or something like that kind of thing, or like teens. I'll go see any movie that comes out basically in that category, because it's the only thing really to do in the town anyways, kind of thing, you know what I mean, like to get out kind of thing, to do stuff. So I'll go see that. So if a Marvel movie comes out or something like that, I'll go see that. Now, if a Marvel movie came out and, say, the Card Counter was in theaters or something like that, I'd go see the Card Counter.
Right.
But because of my situation, I kind of end up having to watch all this junk anyway. So I did see like 4 or 5 of these kind of movies over the summer, because, they finally reopened. And I think it was like June or July or something like that, maybe even. So I saw Shang-Chi,
oh wow,
Black Widow, Suicide Squad, and Venom 2. And so I did see that Venom 2. That was just it was pretty bad. It was just like the premise of the movie. I don't know if you've seen any of this or whatever, but like the premise is kind of like he's this Spider-Man looking like thing, but like it's like an alien symbiote that like tries to like control him, and the main guy, and it like tries to pop out and eat people and stuff, and he tries to like coax it into being good and stuff. But the result of it is that people really like it for some reason, but like to me it feels like if you had like Jim Gaffigan stuck in your body. Because what they do in the movie to like actually make it like work is, he'll like say something, and then they have this Venom character kind of like I think it's Ed Hardy is the main guy. Tom Hardy? Sorry, Tom Hardy. Yeah. Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy will like say like, we got to go to the store or something like that, and then Venom will be like, we could eat people there or something like that kind of thing. But like to me, I just hear it as like him using like Jim Gaffigan using like the voice of like, we could eat people there. And I don't know. I really don't like. Yeah, and um, it did feel like yeah, just having like a comedian stuck there, like just telling him all these like evil stuff to do. And that's the problem, is that like, you could tell it was almost as if they wrote like a straight script of what was going to happen, and then they just let comedians write every line for them or something, kind of thing. You know, like just like they just gave them the script as it was completed, and then just let some him or her writer kind of just walk through the whole thing and just added their little 2 cents about every scene or anything like that. So it was pretty bad, and I don't know.
I love your Gaffigan though.
Very
Very good.
Okay.
So I mean, you like Mystery Science Theater, where it's just people watching a movie and making fun of it, making little cracks and stuff.
Sure.
So isn't this kind of like they built in the Mystery Science Theater into the movie a little bit?
Yeah, my actual review on Letterboxd was the movie was trash, but I'm giving it 2 stars because I know what it's like to have a bad punch-up comedian stuck in your head ruining your life. So, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it was a bad movie, but I had to give it the extra star just because of sympathy.
Sympathy,
so,
yeah.
I don't know. The Shang-Chi one, the Shang-Chi were actually that I think I might have said this too, but I went there and I went to the theater and I said something like, yes, I would like one ticket for Shang-Chi or something. Like I said it in like the kind of weird Chinese way.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi or something. Shang-Chi or something. Yeah, and like and I felt like an idiot. So yeah,
There's some like zit face 15-year-old just looking at you like, what?
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. So and it was fun though, that movie, that like it was just like, I don't know, kind of kung fu kind of stuff, whatever, a little bit of that. And I don't know, it was interesting because it was like a lot of it was in China, and like the first 20 minutes were in Mandarin and stuff like that. Like it just very well, a lot of it was in China at least. And
is that meant to appeal to Chinese audiences?
Yeah, and I think I heard someone say that it didn't appeal at all because
I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah,
yeah,
they try it all the time and it fails like almost every single time.
Yeah, and but I actually thought it was pretty good. They had Tony Leung, I guess. I can't remember.
Yeah, I love him.
And Michelle Yeoh.
Oh, she's great too.
Yeah, so they were both good in it, and Tony Leung was in it like a lot. For you would think maybe in like, that he would just kind of phone it in for a few scenes or something like that kind of thing, but he was actually in it for a fair amount, and he was pretty good in it. And he was in a movie called 2046, which came out in 2004 or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that one.
I remember that was playing in Shanghai while I was there. And my friends and I went to go see a movie in this particular district, whatever that was, like, kind of fancy and all that kind of stuff. And we went there. We ended up seeing Harry Potter instead of that. And one of the Harry Potter ones, which I had never seen a Harry Potter. I was like, I'll just go see it because whatever, right? We're just doing something. And I did it. And I was like, this sucks so bad. I don't know. I probably would have really liked 2046 too. I haven't seen it yet. So that's why I just remember that always with that one. So anyways.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a Shang-Chi, whatever, is very, there's like little bits of fighting in it. It's got the same kind of climax as every one of these movies kind of thing, where it's like you have to fight the ultimate evil to stop it from destroying everything and all that kind of stuff. But like, some of the stuff in between, that Aquafina girl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's in it, and she was not annoying in the movie. So
that's good.
I feel like that's an achievement for her. That's like I don't know. So
was she using her infamous blaccent or
no? She's calmed down a lot, I think. I don't know. So yeah. I was kind of dreading that, but like, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I also saw Black Widow.
That was supposed to be pretty bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, again, it's one of those things. If I'm in a movie theater, I'm gonna like it no matter what. Really, like I'm gonna enjoy it. But like, I don't know. There's like stuff about like weird stuff about like the Soviet Union in it and stuff, and like very, I don't know. I was kind of happy. This might sound very sexist, but I'm kind of cheering for ScarJo because she's on the later half of her 30s now, and she was given like a starring role in this kind of thing as like a like a leading lady kind of thing or whatever. And I thought that originally I thought maybe they just wouldn't give her the movie kind of thing or something, or they would just shelve it or something because but it's funny because Florence Pugh is in it, the girl.
That's a strange casting choice.
I realize, and she uses Slav face in the movie, so that's kind of offending to me.
What is Slav face?
She uses like a thick Russian accent in the movie.
Oh, the accent, the movie Russian accent.
Yeah,
man, that's not.
And so
that's bad.
She's got So I realized that they hired her in the movies so she would be like the hot young one. And instead of because ScarJo is getting up in years, and then there's lots of like, I don't know, very strange, like, I don't know, it's very silly, but I still had fun. I don't know, lots of really junk in it, but like I don't know, whatever. So so see, that's the kind of movie. That's why I have the other thing of like good to like, enjoyed it, that's fine, but like I also have to have a rating for should I have done that. And that's the kind of movie where I'll give it like 3.5 stars because I'm like, oh yeah, I had fun, and then I'll be like, yeah, but you should have been like working or something. So,
right, it's like fast food or something. It's like you enjoy it, but it's not, that's not what you should be eating.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. So, there's stuff that, like, I get that as a concept, but I don't even think I would enjoy those type of movies as junk food. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, it might be like just part of my situation kind of thing where I'm like, I've got this, like, I'm sort of in a semi-rural area and I don't drive or anything like that. So it's like, I'll just go see a movie once in a while. Everything is still, it's not locked down, but like, it's like, it feels locked down still. I don't know how it's like there, but like, it's not actually locked down, but it's like, you go to a restaurant and it's like, still everyone wearing like a lot of like masks to wear down, like, and you have to write down your name and like, I don't know, all this kind of stuff. So when I go to the movies now, they have like a little table where you have to show that you're vaccinated.
Oh wow!
And they like write down your name so that they can call you if there's like a spread or whatever. And
wow,
you go up and you give them a little token that says you've been vaccinated and stuff. And like, just, I don't know, very little stuff like that doesn't make me want to like travel and like go do things kind of thing,
Yeah, so, sure. I can understand
especially when I see like outbreaks other places and stuff like that kind of thing, like it's still like in the States it seems pretty bad in a lot of places. So I don't know, I don't want to like visit you guys and then you guys are like, oh, is he visiting all these people that we don't know and all this kind of stuff, whatever, and then tracking back dangerous Wuhan to us or something. So
It is weird to have not had visitors for such a long time. I don't know. I miss being able to do that.
Yeah.
I also just feel like a jerk, like
sure.
being like, no, I don't want to. Like, it's not that I don't want to have guests, It's not that I don't want to see people, but that's, I think, how it comes across sometimes.
No, yeah, I get it though, for sure. Like, that's why I'm not doing much right now. Like, I was even thinking of like just going to Montreal for a few days or something like that too, like just to get out kind of thing and go do something. But like, you look at the prices. I wouldn't really want to stay at someone's house, and like, I don't really trust Airbnb anymore, kind of thing. Like, I just heard too many bad things from them, and they seem really weird. And so I look at the prices, and hotels kind of have like a floor, really, of like the price, like of like a place that you would want to stay. Still might be like 200 Canadian a night or something like that.
Oh wow, really? So, even at just like motels and stuff like that?
Well, not at like motels or something, but I can't, because I had bed bugs once. I like I can't like rationalize to myself sleeping in just like a flop house kind of thing or something. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
no, I just I don't mean like a
sure,
seedy motel.
no,
Just like Hampton Inn or something like that.
no. Yeah, that would be probably about like 150 a month or sorry, a day or something like that. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah. So I don't know. It's one of those things where I earn so little really at the end of the day that it's like you don't want to like blow a huge amounts of money just to like be in another city for 2 days kind of thing where it's like
Yeah, I guess so.
So anyway, so that's why in that situation Black Widow looks like a thrilling
Right.
adventure.
Right,
So,
right.
so yeah, and but it's not that bad. So
Are
but,
you
yeah.
are you going to see the Eternals?
So I don't want to, but I might end up seeing it because uh, part of the problem is that like even bigger theaters aren't really carrying much of the other movies for some reason.
Yeah.
I think it's because in Canada there's like I have this like theory that it's like there's like a threshold where it like becomes viable or something for them to even like buy the rights to it or something kind of thing or something. I know it's per screen probably how they pay, but like if you look at like screens in like the Toronto and the suburban kind of areas to the west of me, like um, it's almost like 90% of the screens are just the biggest two movies kind of thing. Like they only
Mhm.
have like one or two. So it's just basically like I can't watch anything except for the big ones now, just because of how it was working,
Mhm.
because of how screwed the theaters are right now. So yeah, whatever. I don't know. It is helpful to be like I rented that what do you call it one on my TV, the card counter. So
Oh, okay.
stuff like that. Like there's ways around it, kind of thing now, better than they used to be. But even then, in Canada, it's a very strange situation with that kind of stuff because, like, we don't have HBO Max in Canada, so a lot of these movies are coming. Like all of the Sony ones and Warner Brothers, I think, have been coming out on HBO Max.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, and it's like like say like the Sopranos one, but because in Canada they just have a theater window still, so it's like 90-day theater window, so we don't even be able to rent it until 90 days.
Sure.
So, which makes it kind of a strange thing because there might be like one or two screens in Toronto that are playing it, but not anywhere out here, obviously. So it's like, anyways, it's just it very limits what we can watch and stuff. So yeah.
Hmm.
Anyways, that's my I guess the last one was the Suicide Squad. I don't really at this point I don't have much to add with that kind of stuff. I don't know. It was okay, I think. I don't know. I have to look it up because I honestly don't even remember what I said about it when I took notes for myself for today for us to go over, and I didn't even put like a note beside it. So okay, wait, Suicide Squad? No. The Suicide Squad. Sorry. There's two movies now.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, I gave it 3 stars. Okay, I'm just going to read my review because this is basically what I would say anyways. Back in the day, Fox used to play rerun movies on Sunday afternoon, and it would be fun to watch Gene Hackman cause a little mayhem or whatever. Or you'd rent 3 movies for the weekend and watch 2 good ones on Saturday, and then maybe some junk left for Sunday, because if you missed it, you wouldn't care. Anyway, I was glad to watch this on a Sunday afternoon, just slurping down my Fountain Diet Pepsi and smiling. So. That's it.
All
So
right.
apparently I had no thoughts about the actual movie other than that. So. Anyways, okay.
Tom, do you remember what the last thing we saw in theaters was? I don't. I'm just wondering.
Midsummer.
Was it? I remember
Maybe.
that. Man.
I don't think we've gone since COVID.
No, we haven't. Dang. Been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if that wasn't the last one, that was definitely one of the last ones, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just curious. Sorry.
No. Yeah. So I don't know. Do you want to just wrap it there for today, or do you have any other content that you want to work through? Or
I'm good.
yeah, that's about it for me as far as content stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, okay. So some good things, some bad things.
Sure. Yep. All anti-capitalist.
Of course, naturally.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for coming on again, Tabs. That was fun.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Sure.
All three of us were tired, but I think that we conjured up enough excitement about Shang-Chi to to get through it. So
yeah. Thank you.
Tabs and I are fighting through a food coma over here, but I think
I made it too big of a dinner. I'm sorry.
But yeah, anyway, if you like this episode and you'd like a second episode every week, you can subscribe to our Patreon and you'll get that, as well as access to our Discord where you can chat with us in our lovely community. If you want to send us anonymous questions that we will answer at the end of the public episodes, you can do that by going to the Twitter account at YouCan'tWinPod, and you'll find a link to the Curious Cat pin there. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.